Newsshooter coverage of NAB 2025 is sponsored by B&H Build Expo, June 17th and 18th at the Javits Center, New York, and Atlas Lens Co.
I'm Eric Nason with Newsshooter.com. We are at NAB 2025, and I'm with Jason from iodyne. How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you, Eric.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. So I had heard you guys have some really cool new products for the show. Just go ahead and show it to me and tell me what it's all about.
So the thing that we're showing that's really exciting is the iodyne Pro Mini. So it's the world's first solid-state cooled portable drive. And that enables you to do a lot of different things. So most portable drives out there that are the size of an iPhone, they're a 7.5 watt power budget. And why that matters is that means that's as high as you can go without burning your hand with passively cooled devices. So if we can cool it with the AirJet technology that's in here, we can do a lot of interesting things with that extra 7.5 watts of power. So for example, unlike most bus-powered devices, this won't thermally throttle. It'll stay 3 gigabytes per second all day, all week, as long as you want. It also has an e-paper display. We want to try to get rid of the masking tape that's on all of these drives and help you track these better. So you can configure this with your project, whatever text you want, an image, a logo, a QR code, all of those things. Also integrated is a Find My circuit, which works with both Apple and Google, so you can get these drives back finally, get rid of that. And then we also have an NFC transponder in here. And the way that we're using that is we can use that with your phone and our app to unlock this device. And that's useful in a couple of ways. So for example, our primary original product, ProData, which is much larger, 48 terabyte, but still very portable, it's Thunderbolt only. This is Thunderbolt, but it'll step down to USB 3 and USB 2. So you can attach this to, say, a Red Komodo X or any other camera that has USB-C output and use it as an encrypted mag. Because that 3 gigabyte per second number, that's with RAID 6 and encryption. That's turned on all the time. Nice. Because the RAID 6 is another really unique thing about this. So, and people often ask us, okay, with chips on the board, why do I need RAID 6? Well, what's really helpful, if you're going into remote locations or any place where you may not have a backup, or even if you do, you can lose a chip or two on this device and still be fine. Wow. It'll get you home. So that's the Pro Mini, and then it pairs with an iOS app that we'll be releasing that is our on-set app. And so what it does is it pairs with Fleet Management here that we've also been working on to let you manage your drives, know where they are, add them to projects, and sort of keep an inventory and get rid of the Excel sheets that are so common. That's really what we want to help people do, is to implement a distributed enterprise at the edge. So these aren't expendable drives anymore. These are assets that are getting tracked and managed and are more like the camera kit that are on set and valued resources.
So what are the capacities available?
4 and 8 terabytes usually.
And with the RAID 6, that means, like you said, you can lose a couple chips in there and it still backs itself up.
Yeah,
now, how much capacity does the RAID 6 actually take up for that safety?
That's the really cool thing. So the 4 and 8 is usable. We actually have over-provisioned it so that with RAID 6 you can have 4 and 8 terabytes on it. Yeah, exactly.
So you don't feel like, oh, I'm losing half my drive because
absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. And it's also, you mentioned this cooling function that it has. That's very interesting. Tell me a little bit more about how that works.
So that's one of the things that enabled us to do this. So we thought about doing something in the portable space for quite a while, but we don't really do products unless we can do something that's a little bit different. There's a lot of products out there. We want to do something that is unique and can actually add some value that may not be in the market today. But to do that, we needed a cooling partner. And so when we discovered AirJet a couple of years ago, we started working with them. And what they do, it's really cool. So the AirJet is about 2 millimeters thick, and it's a solid state cooling device, so it's totally silent. If you're familiar with MEMS devices, like some TIs had some projectors over the years, they're tiny little metal fingers, like thousands of them, and they move silently inside to move the air through it like 180 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
So it's incredibly efficient, incredibly quiet, but it's what's enabled us to actually pack all the smart features into this smart drive.
That's amazing. And you can't really, it's not vibrating, or it doesn't really have any kind of feeling. It's just doing its thing.
No, you just feel air coming in and air coming out.
That's really crazy.
And we try to think about design pretty intensively. So for example, the intakes are on this side, the long sides, and the exhausts are on the short sides, because how do you pick up a drive like that? So it heats up on the sides you don't pick up.
And is there any kind of protection from moisture with these so it doesn't get damaged if say you're in a super humid environment? Anything weird like
Yeah,
that?
so we're aiming for IP54 protection, so dust and basic humidity.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we got all our media together. We're
Yeah.
done on that end. You said that now you have another end here. What do we do, and what do you got for that?
Are you talking about our fleet management?
Yeah, right after you're done shooting and you got it all on there. And
So the question is, especially if you're a larger or even a medium production company or a larger studio, and you've got more than a couple of these devices, how do you know where they are, and how do you know what devices you have left? One of the examples I use is like, let's say you're shooting a Tom Brady interview, and the device is out there in the field. Is it your only copy, or were there multiple copies? If it came back and you put it on the shelf, has it been backed up? How do you know? So with our fleet management, which is an optional service, you do not need it to use any of the cool features with this product or our ProData product. But if you have it, it gets better. So you actually know where it is. You can actually put metadata onto this drive, and we're working with our partners at Hedge and also at Palmfort to integrate with SilverStack and Offshoot, so that you can actually use this to push templates for iodyne devices in terms of how they're configured, but also to carry configuration for the rest of your workflow. So when you plug an iodyne device in, perhaps you've set this up with your ingest template, and part of that is, let's say that you use Offshoot for your ingest.
Yeah.
It has your Offshoot configuration coming down from fleet management. You plug it in, Offshoot configures, and you just go.
Wow.
And you can still modify things like that. So we want to be a connector to help you treat this more like you would say your Isilon in your data center, but it's something that's super intuitive. And what we like to say is we create enterprise technology, but Apple level intuitiveness.
Nice.
Because all of our backgrounds are in cloud and data center, but we want to create devices that we want to use and hopefully help creatives.
Man, that's really cool. I mean, it's just a great idea.
Thank you.
A lot of people, like you said, you go super simple, put the sticker on there and write down 4 terabytes, 2 terabytes left. But man, having it everything in that compact design and the cooling system and the whole thing, good job. Really nice.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, have a good show.
You too.